Why is there a train here? I've ballsed up somewhere along the line, haven't I? I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have, done something else. Howdy folks, welcome back to Satisfactory. By the end of today, I would like to be producing encased uranium cells. If we get beyond that, that'll be cool, but this is my goal. So we need to bring in uranium, limestone for the concrete, sulfur for the sulphuric acid, and a pile of water. Now we did find a little impure vein of uranium here, which will produce 300 in total. But we will be training in the uranium we found the other day in the cave. That is a normal vein and will be producing 600 a minute. So that'll be trained in along the train line. I have to build another train line connecting to our nuclear facility. As it pertains to the limestone and the sulfur, there is plenty of limestone in the area that I can get from. As you can see, I've already started. And there are 2 sulfur nodes nearby. One's pure, one's impure. So this will produce 300 a minute, and the pure one will produce 1,200, for a total of 1,500. But obviously we only have tier 5 conveyor belts, so that can only produce 780. So in total 1,080. So at the moment, the only thing we need to train in is uranium. The sulfur and the limestone are both nearby. Between episodes, I did a little bit more to the platform here. I expanded the base platform. It's now a big old square. Ouch. I've also built a ramp, a curved ramp, down to the logistics floor that is going to be sandwiched between the top and the bottom. Aha, and I've built the entirety of the logistics floor. I also built some more water extractors and tidied up the piping. So instead of bundling 12 pipes together, I bundled them in sets of 8 to make them easier to move about. I took 4 rows and put them through the wall, and then 4 rows on this side and put them through the wall. And the same as over here. I took another 4, piled them up, put them through the wall. Another 4, piled them up, put them through the wall. And I'll do that all the way along. They come out here on the other side, and up the inside towards the logistics floor. Look how dark it is under here. It's terrifying. The thought it is full of giant spiders is awful. They come up here to the logistics floor, ready to be taken wherever they need to go. Same as this bundle over here. And as you can see, I have a thing. So I've already started to make the concrete. I'm using the wet concrete formula, which takes water and limestone. The base recipe is 3:1. This recipe is 3:2, so I get more concrete out of the mix. There are obviously other recipes that I could use, but I don't have them at the moment. Whether or not they're better, who knows. But this is what we're using. We're using the water from our pipes. And at the moment, I'm just bringing in some limestone from the bottom here. Got one over there, and there's one all the way over there. Very messy cables, I will tidy them up. But yes, I needed to do this because I needed more concrete for the platform building. Once we have everything set up, I will tidy this up, add some more refineries, and use those to make our encased uranium cells. Now, when we did our nuclear testing, I was pondering how I was going to do the sulphuric acid. But since there is sulfur deposits nearby here, I don't need to truck in sulfur, I don't need to worry about making packaged sulphuric acid. I can just bring up the sulfur from here, use the water from our pipes, and make the sulphuric acid right here. The only things I really need to do next is build a sulphuric acid factory somewhere near here, and then build the train line to bring in the uranium. I started testing some train layouts over here. I'm well aware they go through the roof. What I'm going to do once I'm happy with the layout is I'm going to delete all this, and then I'm going to lower the entire thing 2, maybe 3 tiles, put it all in again. Because the train stations do take up a lot of room, I had to make sure that I was happy with how I was going to put them, because it's going to take up a lot of the space down here. And as you can see, there's space here for currently 4 train stations. Unsure if we need more than that at the moment, but there is a reason. As I've said, we only really need to train in the uranium at the moment, but we will need to train in more stuff in the future. We will also need the electromagnetic control rods, which take stators and AI limiters. I'm undecided at the moment if I want to train in the stators and the limiters and build the control rods here, or build the control rods elsewhere and train those here. Either way, to build those we need to train them in. We also need encased industrial beam for our fuel rods, and that's going to be made at the new steel factory where we produced our petroleum coke a few episodes ago. And obviously they're going to be needed to be trained in as well. And then after that, obviously we have to move on to our plutonium stuff, where we have to bring in silica, nitric acid, and then depending on how we want to build the plutonium fuel rods, either more steel and heat sinks, or pressure conversion cubes. So however I decide to build the products, I will need to train in a whole bunch of stuff. I wonder if I could use one train station and have like smart splitters taking everything out. It's a way to think about it, isn't it? Probably not very efficient. This is why I was testing the layout, because the entry and exits between the train stations being butted up against each other like this is way too close. I mean, obviously it doesn't really matter, they will clip. Fine, but I don't particularly want them to clip. Maybe if I had 3 this side and 3 the other side. There still is a lot of room, isn't it? I'm also very proud of this ramp. I mean, that's the best as you're going to get, frankly. But, that is that. I am going to take a moment to make a suggestion to Coffee Stain. Whether they hear this or not, I have no idea. This is more me just musing out loud. Obviously, base building is a huge part of this game. Hundreds, if not thousands, of objects are being built to build each factory. As you can see here, I made a 5x5 foundation blueprint. Took 5 individual pieces by 5 individual pieces. Blah blah blah. So this is 25 assets in the game. Why not just have one big foundation platform that is 5x5 tiles big? Because that way the game only has to load 1 asset per 25. I have no idea how the developers optimize this game, so that's probably a bad idea. There might be some ways in which it loads and saves things. But that's a thought. Second point I'd like to make is road building. Obviously, like most people, I've been using foundations. And again, that's a lot of assets. There are hundreds of foundations here alone just to make this little fancy thing. And a part of me think that is encouraged because in the shop there are road markings that you can use to make fancy designs that you can paint on. Like this stuff. People use them to make lines on roads. Now, I'm not advocating to get rid of this, but why not also make a road tile? Like this. The conveyor belts being the biggest example. See? All you need to do is make the conveyor belt wider and remove the functions of it moving. And you can use this as a road. I mean, look at train track. It does exactly what I'm saying. And even that has junctions. all you really need to do is take what this is, make it wider, and then you can use it as a road tile. That's my thought anyway. You don't have to remove the ability to do this, because there are some benefits to do it. But if you were able to have a road tile, then doing things like curved ramps and stuff would be very easy. Yeah. See? Curved ramp. Easy peasy. Now back to the logistics planning. One extra thing I would like to add is there is nitrogen gas right here, near the sulfur we're about to pull from. So making nitric acid here is also relatively easy. I just have to pipe out some nitrogen gas. Or a lot of it, because, you know, there's what, 10 nodes? 8 nodes. So there's a few pipes. Also, before I dive into the buildings, last time I acquired this, the dissolved silica. And as was pointed out in the comments by Panaz, it flew straight over my head that using this system we can get both quartz crystals and silica from the same deposit. Up until now, mining quartz crystal could only be yielded either quartz crystals or silica. But if I do the quartz purification, I get quartz crystals and dissolved silica, and then I can use dissolved silica to make that into silicon. So if you wanted some numbers to help with that, because I sure did, every 100 raw quartz would yield either 166 silica or 60 quartz crystals, or if we did this, we get 62 quartz crystals and 112 silica. So slightly less silica, but we have to use less raw quartz to get both things. Obviously, this process also takes nitric acid, limestone, and water, but that is what makes it fun. So I think that's all of the yapping. I think now it's time to do some building. So first off, I need to place a miner on the sulfur. I shan't worry about the nitric acid right now. Do I have enough for a miner? Ooh, just. That's fine with me. Ping. Yes, we're going to have to bring it down here and following the river. Between the gorge. Edge of the world. How deadly is this place? Oh, there's coal here as well. There appear to be some destructive terrain. Interesting. Oh. There's a summer sloop. Shan't concern myself with it too much. I always forget to bring power. Yeah, it's fine. Now, how do I want to do this? Ooh, is that a hard drive? Hey, Panaz, look. I can input a thing. Thank you for pointing that out. It's very helpful. Now, do I want to take this to the ground? Or do I want to bring it across? What's more fun? Again, I'm not fond of, like, sky bridges. But a part of me thinks that this makes sense. I can bring it over here and then I can... Boing. Maybe from here. I'm going to go straight through the Master Sphere. Now, the only reason I think using a sky bridge here might be fun is I could have, like, cables and such coming from the tops of these spires, holding it up. I have these braided cables, so I can potentially do something a bit like this. Obviously it's very rough, but... I could actually make it look like the conveyor belt's being held up by the mountain. Get rid of the foundation. Maybe have some sort of crane arm on top of here. That goes out over here. And have that... Have cables hanging down to hold up the conveyor belt. That could be cute. Why am I doing this? It's too far. What? No. How close does it need to be? Fair enough. I shall think about that as well. Ping! We are now producing sulfur. There we go. To think about where to put the middle power line as well. Maybe up here somewhere. If I did another crane arm here, I could put the power line on that. For the 600 uranium, we need 480 sulfur altogether. But if we also pull in this, that gives us 900 uranium a minute. We need 720. And we are now pulling in 780. With more to spare if we get to tier 6. I believe that's enough. Well, technically it's enough, but I'll go down one more. Made a refinery floor blueprint. It's got 4 refineries. Ta-da! I think I can fit another one underneath. There we go. Ooh. How much water is this in total? 720. By the way, I also figured out how to customize the floors and buttons. If you go to the bottom of this thing here, there's an edit section. In case you wanted to know. So let us grab one of these pipes. Do I like this? Okay, so let's have pipe into there at the time being, and then... Bop. Yeah, put it backwards, that's fine. Ta-da! We have water and sulfur going into the refineries. That is making sulphuric acid. Right, how much is this making? 50 per minute. So for a 600 pipe, we can connect 12 refineries to one pipe. That needs to go upwards. I'll put a small fluid buffer here just to... There we go. We are making sulphuric acid. So we have the concrete, we have the sulphuric acid. Now we need to train in the uranium. So we have a train station set up all the way here, ready to go for our little testing. It is not connected so far, so I will do that. The lights are on. Amsterdam. Amsterdam nuclear. So we have to go to the... where we tested the uranium episode or two ago. We're going to go over there, place some train station, and build a train. Now I have this train thing, which takes computers, rods, quick wire, sheet metal, steel. I have all of this stuff. I might need some more computers, but I have computers somewhere. They're in the truck. Where's the truck? It's over there. Just out of curiosity, how many Mercer spheres are in this area? 45? There are still 12 hard drives and 17 Sommersloop. Girl, blimey. I need to look around this area harder, don't I? Crikey. Now, as I said in my original plan, I would like monorails to be hanging from the ceilings under here. So wherever I decide to put train track, I'm going to destroy the logistics floor around it. Because I would like it to hang. I'll be destroying it like this. Oh! 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 Bling! And then we'll have braces coming up from underneath. Not looking like this, don't you worry. To hold up the monorails so that we will see the trains going to and fro once we're underneath. And these buildings will have walls and windows and stuff as well. I do want it to look like a hanging upside down city under here. Not much vertical space to play with, but I'm sure it'll be alright. And I can clip the refineries to squish those floors together more, if need be. So the train line to the blue crater comes this way. Near enough. So I could connect to about here, I think, is probably a good shout. That might give us a straight shot around here. I think our road comes up over here and turns towards the nitrogen gas there. So along here might be alright. That will take it underneath the road there. Buggery! This jetpack only works when you're near something with electricity. But the range isn't that far. Works for me. Oh, you piss. You piss.
Can you imagine where you'd be without me? Let me give you a hint. Still dead.
Okay. What I need to do is I need to connect over here. Like that. Really? Really?
Your
Really?
pioneer agreement mandates greater care with fix-it resources.
This needs to connect to somewhere there. Right, so he's going to have 2 trains. This one's also called Amsterdam, that's interesting. So we need a train station and an empty platform, and then we need 4 freight platforms. I have no idea if this is... I have no idea if this is overkill. But here we are. Oh, we're out of thing. So I found a quick way of doing the splitters and mergers going into machines. What you need is the lift. Put some lifts in. If I get the smart splitters, put one there, put one there, I can build them straight on the elevator. I've been concerning myself with putting conveyor belts and then building the splitters and mergers on the conveyor belts that I never really tried that. But yeah, it's really easy just to do. And it all works perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm only going to output which way would that be? The center would be right. Yes, maybe. I want the center to be overflow. Alright, I'll change the other bits, don't worry. So the uranium will come in, and it will start filling up the first freight platform. Once the first freight platform is full, then the overflow will go to the second one. And we'll do the same for the second one. Only the overflow from that will go to the third one. Not good, not good, not good, not good. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done something else.
If you wish to impress me, don't do that.
Yep. And we'll get in there, pick up the uranium, and put that in the box. Works for me, works for me, works for me. Ah. Okay, right. None. So that's going to fill up the first lot. Yep. And then it's going to fill up the second lot. This is going to get very radioactive very quickly. I need to sort out some filters. I'm going to do that right now. I'm not going to set up a factory, but I'm going to build some filters. I'll be so happy once I get the transport network sorted out and I don't have to run halfway around the world to gather all my bits. It's slowly coming together. Just, you know, slowly. Right, so it takes quick wire and aluminium casing, which means I need to go back to home base to pick up some quick wire. And then to the uranium to get some aluminium casing. I've seen this, yeah, have I? I connected the bridge up to the road network as well. Also it continues on over there. Aha! Why is there a train here? I genuinely forgot there's a train up here. What? Cool. I'm gonna make some filters and then go back down to the train station. I now have a plethora of filters. This should be plenty for my train antics. Ooh, more. I'm going to go straight off the cliff and leave that other train up there again. For me to crash into in the future. Well, I've not seen that since I built it. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Yeah, I built another road up there. It's sort of a thing, isn't it? It's where I started building the first road, but I was unsure about having it up. So we should be fine now, right? Electric locomotive. A second electric locomotive. A freight car. A second freight car. A third freight car. A fourth. Right, so... Train menu. Turn on self-driving. Edit timetable. So we want this to go to Amsterdam. Edit timetable. And then we want to go to the nuclear Amsterdam. Once load or unload have been completed. Save changes. Do I need to switch the train stations to load, unload? Or does it know what it's doing? It seems to know what it's doing. I haven't yet hooked up the conveyor belts to the fourth freight car, but that's fine. So now this gets taken all the way to our nuclear plant. I should really colour this green, shouldn't I? I believe I can rename... Yes! Uranium. Who's uranium? Why? Really? Not working? Why does that not work? Why? Why though? Why are all of these? The hell? Okay, that's fine. Why? Signal loops into its... The signal loops into itself? What? Missing connections. It is missing connection. It works? Okay, that should have turned green, right? Yep. Why does that one not work? Why? I bulged up somewhere along the line, haven't I? Okay, why? Block X has no exit signal. Okay, this comes over here. It's going to get offloaded. I'm going to deal with a lot of uranium that I cannot sink. Whoopsie daisy. I should have thought about that before I started moving shit. Okay, fair enough. Because I wanted to move all this, didn't I? But now I have crates of uranium. That is weird. Oh, no, it's fine. This is set to load. Okay, I do need to set that off. And that should stop. Technically, it should load more. And then hopefully be on its way over here. So now that we have all that going on, we need 18 blenders now to mix the uranium, concrete and sulphuric acid together. Oh, there's the train. It seems to have made its way all the way over here without any trouble. I mean, it's filled with uranium, but, you know. Can I get in the box? There we go. I didn't mean to do that. That was not something I meant to do. I didn't mean to take all of it out. Whoopsie doodle. Well, we have a box of uranium now. Yay for unsinkable objects. That's fine. It's good for our testing our blender when we make it. I wonder how bad the radiation in this place is going to be overall once all is said and done. Why am I still radioactive? Hello? still carrying something radioactive? Hi, help? No, actually, for real, why? 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 Huh? I deposited me filters into the box and the radiation killed me. So is this just... Yeah, that's the distance of the radiation for that box. It just decided to be a bit of an idiot. We have a blender blueprint. Ta-da! I kind of prefer leaving the in-betweens blank, because sometimes I might want to cut some out, so this makes it easier for me to place things down, weirdly enough. Like this. Missing aluminium casing. Ah! That's fine. We will sort it out. So this needs... What are we doing here? We're doing the aluminium cells. Aluminium cells? Blah, blah, blah. So we're doing encased uranium cells. That. Bring this... Ta-da! Sulphuric acid. In goes the concrete. Out comes the uranium. That should be going into the blender. I will merge stuff. Take it up. Okay, that's all doing. Now this is producing extra sulphuric acid as well, which is a bit of a problem. How do I deal with that? Well, for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a big buffer. And put that into the big buffer. That'll allow 2,400 and I can just flush that when I need to. Because at the moment this isn't producing, it's just there for the video. I must keep in mind, whatever factories I make, they have to be able to be scalable for bringing in more uranium. So I can't just build 18 blenders. I should not necessarily hook them all up or build the blenders, but make sure I leave enough space for more blenders to be put. How many blenders do I need if I power shard them all? I need 18. If I power shard them, I need 7.2. And if I use all 9,000 uranium on the map, that'll be 72 blenders. There's a lot of blenders. So if I try to keep in mind that I need space for at most 72 blenders, though I don't think I'll ever reach that point, but keeping that in mind, I mean, I think that might be alright. Let's have a look. I'm missing casings, that's fine, so I can put 2 more floors down. I can probably get away with a line of 10. Right? So if I need a max of 72, I can put a line of 10, and then another row of 10, then a floor underneath that of a row of 10, and another row of 10, then a floor underneath that of a row of 10, another row of 10. That would give me 60. Then I can squeeze the blenders wherever else it needs to be. So I've got plenty of room. Just dealing with the excess sulphuric acid. But I can't do that until plutonium. So I have an idea of how this is going to go now. What I have to do now is build the buggers. I have to build the bigger concrete over there, build the bigger sulphuric acid over here, and then build the bigger blender over here. And then put on some walls and facades. Make it look pretty. Should I worry about the train yard today? I think I'll worry about that next time. For the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build these buildings. See you in a moment. I can sink the plutonium fuel rod, can't I? I wonder if I can sink the uranium one, because I never tried that. It went straight into the nuclear reactor. I wonder if you can sink all of the fuel rods. Food for thought. Anyway, I'm gonna get to building.
I'm in a race that everybody's chasing fast. They wanna be that someone on the screen at last. They ain't looking inside for their needs in life. They wanna be liked by everybody in sight. But trust me, being free ain't spotlights. No, it's long nights and it's long fights with yourself all the time to get your mind right. But if you put in the work, you can find the light, alright. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore. So just don't be ignored. Go ask for more. Go ask for more. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. PCH country limit. I don't need a guide. Follow lights. Take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in. 'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. PCH country limit. I don't need a guide. Follow lights. Take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? I'll just breathe in.
And I'm back! So there's a few changes now. Firstly, up here on the top floor, I built a statue. It's not a very good statue. I feel like the wings are way too small for what it's supposed to be. But it was a first attempt. I want the top of the platform to feel clean and high-end. Is that the word I'm looking for? Either way, I want it to look like gilded and gleaming and shiny and golden and merry, as opposed to the bottom, which is all grimy. So there's going to be lots of golden statues about. I think it's alright for a first pass. I still need to change it, I feel, but it's that. And if we go underneath into the belly of the beast, so we have a big old pillar now for the central tower, and the other factories have been built. This is what it looks like in the dark, in the fog, and the spiders. At the moment, for how much uranium we're using, we need 18 blenders, but we only need like a handful of refineries for the concrete and a handful of refineries for the sulphuric acid. So there is room for more. The lighting gets weird with these neon lights. I apologize for that. We have plenty of space for more refineries on both ends. And I've run out of glass-making material for the time being. Yes, all of the concrete we need is being made. All of the sulphuric acid is being made. And technically, we will have enough blenders for all of the uranium cells being made. But I still haven't turned the train station from load to unload yet, so we're not taking in any uranium. I don't want to have a huge pile of unsinkable objects while I'm doing things. Hopefully next time we'll start actually producing stuff. And as you can see, I've started putting in the monorail. I'm unsure about the supports, but each iteration will be better, I'm sure. It's just a simple loop at the moment. I'm sure the track will move and wiggle around each building as each building is put in place. But this is the general idea. As you can see, the buildings aren't all the way to the ground. The floor underneath is still there. Minus 1 or 2 pillars. Ooh. Once this place fills up, it will look quite industrial. I also ran out of lighting as well, because these billboards take crystal oscillators of all things. Interesting design work, isn't it? And this is what it looks like pretty much completed. I feel like I need some more... Perhaps like a little bulk underneath, so it doesn't look so square. Maybe bring the angles all the way down to the ground. Who knows? Oh! I've had to deal with that for several hours, and now I'm falling. You just keep leaping at me. Go away, please. They keep trying to get to me, but obviously the buildings are just out of reach from their leaping. This is all I hear every 5 or so minutes is plap. So that's going to do this episode for today. I'm weirdly out of time right now, and I can't really pick this up for the next few days. So I'm going to leave this episode here. But I'm quite happy with what we've done. Got the concrete, the sulphuric acid, and the uranium cells being made, and I built some more factories and design work, and built a big statue, and did some train track. In the grand scheme of things, it's quite a bit. I'll try and make the fuel rods next time. Or steel. I keep saying that, but I do need to make more steel. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I apologize for abruptly ending, but I really am out of time today. I'll see you all next time. Cheerio.